Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the Cleveland Browns this offseason, you already know that there's some news that could shake up the entire AFC North, and I mean shake it up in a big way. And it's not just about new signings or draft picks, no. It's about a veteran who's been a cornerstone of this team for years, a guy whose presence in the offensive line could be the difference between a good season and a great one. That guy is Joel Bitonio. Yes, you heard right. After months of uncertainty, after what many thought might be the end of his playing days, Joel is back on the field, and that's a massive boost for Cleveland. Now, for those of you who follow the Browns closely, you know how important Bitonio is to this team. He's not just a veteran, he's a leader, a guy whose presence in the offensive line brings stability and experience. Last season, it was a tough year for Cleveland, no doubt about it. The offensive line had its struggles, and with Bitonio unable to participate at times, it became painfully clear how much his leadership, his technique, and his grit matter in the trenches. But here's the good news, he's back, and he's ready to fight again. Joel himself has been quite clear about his future. He's not making any grand promises or commitments just yet, but he's also not ruling out playing beyond this season. In fact, he's made it pretty clear that he intends to keep going as long as that competitive fire is still burning inside him. When asked about whether he might hang up the cleats soon, he's been honest. Last year, he didn't even think about retirement. He was just focused on playing, on helping his team, on doing whatever he could to make a difference. And that's the kind of mindset that makes a player invaluable. He's got that fire still burning, and he's determined to continue contributing. He said, "Going into last year, there was no thought of me playing my last year. I was just ready to play." And that's what every Browns fan loves to hear. You want players who are committed, who still have that passion for the game. He also mentioned that after some tough games, his body was starting to ache a bit, and that the team wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders. But even with that, he found a spark, a reason to keep fighting, and he's optimistic that the Browns can turn things around this season. And honestly, who wouldn't be? Cleveland is loaded with potential, especially if the offensive line can regain its form and protect Deshaun Watson better, creating space for the running game to thrive. Bitonio's mindset is clear. He's taking it one game at a time, especially now in his 12th season. For him, anything he does at this point is truly gravy. He's already achieved so much, but he still wants to be part of meaningful, competitive football. His sights are set on December and January, hoping that the Browns are playing deep into the playoffs, fighting for a shot at the Super Bowl. And let's be honest, with a player like him leading the line, that's not just wishful thinking. It's a real possibility. Now, with all this talk about his future, the Browns are faced with an important challenge: finding someone to carry the torch when Joel eventually hangs up his cleats. The offensive line has been aging, and last year's performance was less than ideal. It was a dreadful season for the trenches, and that put a lot of pressure on the team to improve this year. The importance of grooming a young guard or a promising talent to learn from Bitonio can't be overstated. Cleveland needs a successor, a guy who can step in and maintain that high level of play, who can learn from the best and eventually become the cornerstone of the line. This isn't just about replacing Joel, it's about ensuring the stability of the Browns' offensive line for years to come. Because if the line falters, the entire offense struggles. And we saw that last season. When the protection isn't there, Deshaun Watson can't work his magic, and the running game stalls. Cleveland's offensive line needs to be a strength, especially with the division getting tougher and tougher each year. You've got teams like the Ravens and Bengals that are always pushing the envelope, always trying to outdo each other. So, the Browns must prioritize that continuity and youth development now more than ever. And with Bitonio's return, the Browns are in a much better position to do just that. His leadership, his experience, and his skill in the trenches are invaluable. When he's on the field, you can see a difference in the way the line performs. He's a bulldog, a guy who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, who sets the tone for the entire offensive front. Plus, his presence gives confidence to the younger guys, knowing they have a veteran guiding them through the chaos of the NFL season. Let's talk a little about the upcoming season. Expectations around Cleveland are high, especially after last year's struggles. Fans want to see the team not just contend, but really push for the playoffs, maybe even a deep run. The AFC North is as competitive as ever, with the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers all capable of making noise. But if the Browns can get consistent offensive line play, if Deshaun Watson can find his rhythm and protect the football, they'll be right there in the mix. And having Joel Bitonio back, healthy and motivated, is a huge part of that equation. He's been through it all: injuries, tough seasons, and moments of doubt, but he keeps coming back. That resilience is what makes him a true leader of this franchise. And even if he's thinking about what's next, he's still fully committed to helping Cleveland achieve its goals this season. It's that kind of grit and determination that the Browns need to see more of, especially if they want to break through that playoff barrier and make some noise in January. Now, it's not just about one player, of course. The entire team has to step up. The coaching staff has been working tirelessly in the offseason, trying to build a team that can compete at the highest level. But having experienced leaders like Joel Bitonio on the roster is priceless. His presence elevates the entire offensive line, and he's proven time and again that he's willing to do whatever it takes to help his team succeed. That's the kind of player every Browns fan loves: tough, dedicated, and always fighting for that extra inch. And of course, the story of Joel's future is still unwritten. Will he decide to go for one more year, or will this season be his last? That remains to be seen. But what we do know is that his impact on this team is undeniable, and his leadership will be crucial if Cleveland wants to make a real push this year. The Browns are on the verge of something special, and with Joel back on the field, they've got a serious shot at making their mark. So, Browns fans, keep your eyes peeled. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet, and Joel Bitonio's return is just the beginning. The team is hungry, the division is fierce, but Cleveland has that spark again. The passion, the grit, and that never-give-up attitude are back, and we're all here for it. Whether you're dreaming of a deep playoff run or just hoping to see your guys fight tooth and nail every Sunday, this team has the potential to surprise us all. And with leaders like Joel, the sky's the limit. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In conclusion, Browns fans, what's your take on Joel Bitonio's return? Do you believe he can still be as impactful as ever? Are you optimistic about Cleveland's chances this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and more insight into what's happening with your beloved Cleveland Browns. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep that Browns spirit alive. This team is on the rise, and with players like Joel leading the way, there's no telling how far they can go. So, until next time, keep rooting, keep believing, and let's make this season one to remember.